We got a brewing issue in Philly sports that because of the Super Bowl over the weekend, it didn't really garner as much attention as it ordinarily would have right out of the gate. And it absolutely merits tremendous attention. And my guess is a lot of the latter portion of February, early March, maybe even in the spring and summer will be devoted to this, although I don't think it'll go as far as the summer. And that's the Haason Reddick situation. So you may remember over the last couple of days, Ian Rappaport reported that the Eagles have given Haason Reddick permission to seek a trade, which is obviously not what you'd call an ideal situation, because the ideal situation is you got a great player under contract at a reasonable price for the Eagles. Eagles would want him to be here. Player would want to be here. And away we go, and let's go attack the 2024 season. Clearly it's not as simple as that. Obviously, there's more to it. I think it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out, based on Haason Reddick's comments last year when training camp started, that Haason Reddick wants to get paid more money. I don't blame him. He is way better than a lot of players that make the kind of money he's making. It is notable that Chris Jones and Nick Bosa both got new contracts upon holding out last year, which Reddick did not do. And those two guys made it to the Super Bowl. Chris Jones just won a Super Bowl. So this is going to be the intersection of a lot of different things here related to the Eagles, related to the 2024 Eagles, the 2025 Eagles, the 2026 Eagles, the 2023 Eagles. What really happened? How frustrated was Reddick? What exactly was he frustrated about? Is it just the money, or is he losing faith in the leadership structure of the Eagles? And is that part of why he's going to be extra cheesed? And the Eagles are like, all right, dude, we'll just go try to find a deal. I mean, let's get into it all today here at 215-592-9494. There's a lot on the line about all this. Namely, what the worthwhileness of the 2024 season is. Is this a season you think the Eagles can get back on the horse and be a contender again, or is this sort of a reset season in 2024? And is the so amongst other things, I want to hear from you today at 215-592-9494. What you think led to this? What you think will happen, what you think should happen, what it means for the Eagles for 2024 and beyond. John, where are you on Reddick? And because this is a big story, man.
It's huge, and I think we're all sort of on the same page where we want to pay our guy. Haason Reddick is a brilliant football player who is a Philly guy on top of it, and who is playing his best football here in Philly. It's a dream come true for him.
Right.
We want to continue that. We want to preserve that, but I don't think we can come anywhere close to matching what should be available to an edge guy who's got double-digit sacks 4 years in a row. Realistically, I don't think we should pay Haason Reddick what he is worth on the open market. I don't think it's best for our team to pay what Haason Reddick is worth on the open market.
3 years,
what
70,
he will get
3
on
and
the
75.
open market.
You say 3 and 75, it's a walkaway. 4 and 100. I'm just throwing the kind of numbers I see as likelihood.
I'm saying it's a walkaway period because of what he represents in football.
Which is
he
what?
is gonna be a 30-year-old edge rusher who. They've timed it up so that the last year of his contract is his 30-year year.
That's right.
And they have him, his cap hit this year is $21 million. This is the cream of the crop of his cap hits. He gets a lot of money this year. But that $21 million cap hit, that's still significantly less in the grand scheme of things than what top edge rushers are getting if you look around the league.
Yep.
Nick Bosa is getting $34 million a year to rush the passer. Joey Bosa, he 4 years ago in 2020 got a new deal. I think it was 5 years, $27 million a year back then.
And Micah Parsons is about to get the deal of all deals because he's deal eligible in March, whether he signs it in March or April or June or July. He's going to get a deal. It's probably going to be $150 million plus.
It's going to be
unbelievable.
It's going to break the bank.
And so if you're Reddick and you're making your $15 million, it's look, I appreciate making my $15 million. I didn't expect that when I was 12 years old, hanging around Philadelphia, living in Camden. But I mean, 15 million is cool. 150 million is a lot more cool. I mean, it is what it is. And I don't blame him for being mad. Here's where it really gets complicated.
No, I don't blame him either. But I don't blame Howie for doing what's smartest for this team. I think what's smartest for this team is not paying $20-30 million on a pass rusher. You've already got Josh Sweat, who's 3 years younger, locked up on a very team-friendly deal. And it feels like this is, hey, we're going to do you a favor, Haason. We know that the money's out there for your position and your performance. You've been incredible in this league. We just don't have the room to do what's best for our team and pay you.
So a couple of things here, and I'm curious where everyone comes down on all this at 215-592-9494. So one main thing going through my mind, and this is a tough one to answer, but I think I know where I stand. Is the 2024 Eagles season worth it? Like, are they close enough to a championship that it's like, suck this up, find a way to get it done? And when I say get it done, I mean even
as opposed to.
Well, let me be clear what I mean by get it done. Like, pay him something deeper in the future. You really don't want to pay him deeper in the future, but you want to retain him now because you have a window to win a championship now. Like, that's a big topic, and it's hard to answer before free agency's begun and the draft, and you don't know if Kelsey's back, you don't know if Cox is back. I'll tell you this: I see 2024 in all likelihood as a major reset. Major reset. And here's what I mean by a reset. A reset is I'm cutting James Bradbury. I'm going to have 20-something dead $1 million in cap money. I don't get his services, and no one else gets to use that money. That's a reset. That's like I either do it in 2024 or I do it in 2025. So, damn it, I'll just get it over with in 2024. That's a reset. And that's where, I look at this Reddick thing and say, man, like, yeah, I'd love to give him 3 years, $75 million. I don't know how worth it is because when he's at his best, and he'll probably be at his best next year as opposed to 2 and 3 years from now as he gets older, I don't think the Eagles are there. That's me. Now, look, we'll hear from you at 215-592-9494.
So what are you saying? Are you saying...
I'm saying he's going to be traded. I am telling you, I will be shocked if he's not traded. And I know last year they did a very similar, if not the exact same thing with Darius Slay. Hey, Darius, obviously we're not quite on the same page financially, so go test the market through you and your agent to find out what kind of deal you could get. If you have a team really interested in you or 10 teams really interested in you, bring us a list. We will then try to work out a trade with said teams. We'll see if we can arrive at a trade. If we do, you're gone. You get that compensation. If you don't, we negotiate from the platform that you now know teams are not as interested in you out there as you thought. See, that's how his goal here is for Haason Reddick. There's no doubt in my mind about this. No doubt in my mind. And it's a long shot, but this is what Howie's trying to do. Howie's trying to have Haason Reddick and his agent go out there and find out his worth sort of on the open market, sort of.
But you can't do that with an edge rusher.
No, that's my point.
So productive.
It's not going to really work.
Right,
it's a Hail Mary. What Howie's saying is we have an issue with our player. He's probably, by the way, unhappy, if I had to guess, about more than just the contract. I mean, I got to tell you guys, I still go back to that moment when Sirianni's yelling at everybody on the sideline at the end of the Bills game. And if you really go back to it, it's like everything started falling apart right after that. He's yelling at Devontae. He's yelling at Haason. It's like what is going on here? So, look, I don't know. I don't want to make more of it. I don't know what it was, but I just sense based on Haason. James, would you say Haason Reddick's comments down the stretch of the season were telling in that he was unhappy about more than the contract, but he wouldn't really say what it was?
Yeah,
is that a fair way to put it?
I think it's a fair way to put it.
No.
I don't look. I think there were a lot of people unhappy. There was a lot going on with that locker room. I think it's about money with Haason Reddick.
You do think it's that simple?
I think it's about money. I think, he didn't hold out last season. He said, all right, I'm going to play on this number, but you're going to freaking pay me after this season.
Which is probably why he's probably about to hold out.
Exactly.
And why the Eagles are like...
And I don't blame him.
I don't blame him either. So
and the money, if it's about the money, like in the Eagles, they are set in their ways. He is counting $21 million against their cap this year. And remember, these are going to start hitting with Jalen, like year after year.
Well, that's right.
Last year, I think Jalen was $6 million against the cap. I want to say $13 million this year, and then the whoppers start coming. Howie is planning ahead for. It looks like next year Jalen will count $21 million against the cap. The year after that, $31 million against the cap. We can't pay everyone who will help this team. I believe Haason Reddick, awesome player. Love him. Yep. Love what he's done. there is money out there to be paid to him by another team. I think we can keep one of our own. We can pay one of these players in DeAndre Swift, who has proven he plays his best football in Philadelphia.
They're not going to pay Swift.
I'm telling you, we can come closer to matching what other teams would offer with DeAndre Swift because the position has been so devalued. I'm telling you, like, we could get DeAndre Swift for $5 million a year, and I think this team can do that.
We got to pinch
pennies here and there.
No.
Pinch pennies, get a cheap running back, draft one. Whatever.
Exactly.
But that's still relatively cheap in the grand scheme of things.
No. Look, all right.
This is a special play. I'm saying both are special players. DeAndre Swift, you can get a special player for $5 million a year, man. I don't know that that's the number.
Yeah. Well, look, 215-592-9494 and all this. I mean, there's so much to this. Is the Eagles' 2024 season worth them paying in the future more than they want because they have a window to win now and you want to retain Reddick? Or is that crazy talk? Like what we saw at the end of the year is more of what you're going to get. Cut bait while you can. Try to get a draft pick. Try to perhaps get rid of an unhappy player to an extent who's a great dude, but just doesn't want to play on this contract anymore, it seems, in all likelihood. Where do you stand? 215-592-9494. What do you think should happen? What do you think will happen with Haason Reddick and the Eagles this offseason? Your phone calls will rock them next on 94 WIP.